Big red button.
Callum's going to do some ASMR for us today, he said.
No. I don't know what that stands
You
for.
said.
I don't know what it means.
What, asthma? Are we good?
I don't know
I
what
think
we
we're on. Facebook's telling me we're on.
About to find out. Yeah, we'll give people a few minutes to roll on in.
Yeah,
Roll up. Oh, it opens with the ASMR line.
that's
Perfect.
it.
Right.
We got the other computer.
Nice. So have you got studios then?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Little home setup. Well, Zach's not got a home setup. He's got a fully fledged production studio.
a full-grown studio.
That is awesome.
All grown.
All grown. Good evening, Marie.
Oh, there we go.
Good evening.
How do I see the
See?
chat?
I have bougie lights and everything. Haha.
My webcam has that, but it just does that. I look very white.
It is weird it has it round the camera though, because you can see the light.
Kind of, not really.
Yeah, turn the light down
Hey,
for
you-
you to see it.
What do you mean?
Yeah, see.
Yeah, that's because I've got it like right there though. You know, like the ring light we use live, that's got like the what's it, like the phone holder in the middle. So I guess it's a regular design. Hello, all. Says Shanice. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, puppet. Well, he's not gonna. Yeah. As a reference, you won't get.
So sounds like something for the BFG.
Yeah.
Close.
Are we able to have a look at where the echo is going on, guys? We've got Marie's just said. Don't know if it's just her end, but there is a little bit of an echo going on. One,
I'm
two.
going to mute my mic a second. It might be me. I don't know.
Okay.
Wow.
I think one. Hello.
Could it be me?
I think it
Maybe
might
yeah,
be.
if you mute for a sec. Wait. I think we're there. Yeah, I think it is you. Have you got any earphones or headphones or anything?
Yeah, give me a sec.
Oh, no, I think you're all right. Wait.
Yeah, that didn't come through then, did it? Might be
No,
Zach.
you're all good. You're all good. I think it's Zach. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
just
definitely,
use
yeah.
my. Yeah, I'll press tap and then I'll come off.
Lovely.
Yeah.
job.
Oh, man.
Like a professional. True professional.
I could.
Yeah, I can hear two of everyone. Yeah, well, you're getting twice the amount then, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're getting real bang for your buck here.
Yeah. Well, I should be fine.
Good
now.
evening, James. Cool. How are we all doing tonight? I hope everyone is well. Thank you for joining us this evening. We've got some awesome guests here who we were very lucky to meet just over the weekend. We have NTT. How you doing, gents?
Very well, thank you.
Good, man. Right. Callum, I'm going to pass over to you and I'll keep on the comments section because it's already popping off a bit.
We're already going. Yeah, we are going.
We are
Crazy,
going.
crazy, crazy. So we played a lovely little show with you on this weekend. I understand you played another show with One Last Day again. Was it the day after or was it? Yes.
That was last night, yeah. It
Last night. And how did that one go?
was good. It was really good. It went off.
Whereabouts was that?
That was up in Hove, Brighton and Hove.
Oh, nice one. Yeah, man. Yeah, we've not been to
Yeah.
Brighton yet. What's it like to play? Have you been there before? Or?
I was there a few years ago, and it was a weird little venue, sort of on the seafront, in like this sort of tunnel with a nightclub attached to the end of it. But yeah, it was a cool place. Nightlife out there is mental.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't too busy last night, but it was a Sunday, so you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll take that. Good
Oh,
night.
right. Did you go out afterwards at all?
No.
Sunday night out, be the big wild one.
Yeah, that's it.
Marie's just trying
I
to.
had to be the guy to take them all home.
The responsible driver. I understand that burden.
Humble.
Oh yes.
Humble.
I finally got a van, and well, now I'm the driver. That's that. Yeah, it's the whole story.
Yeah.
Marie says entity. You were sick on Friday, so yeah, absolutely agree. It was a genuine pleasure to play with you guys. I think that lineup was just actually fantastic as well. That was every band that night was absolutely killer. I look forward to seeing you all on the road
100%.
again, to be honest.
Yeah. I have to say a big shout out to White Noise as well. Like I'm kind of gutted that they had to open that show because they did so well.
Yeah, man.
Little plug for them because they're phenomenal. Like, as a
Absolutely
new
super
band,
tight, weren't they?
something cool to see in the scene. So
Yeah, so for those of you who saw a few weeks ago, we had White Noise on. They opened the show. We had NTT, and then we had One Last Day, who've also been on recently. And that was just a monster lineup, to be honest. If you guys out there haven't seen any of these bands live, you absolutely must go and check them out. Absolutely blew me away, man. Such a good lineup, man. So good.
Yeah, White Noise were crazy because the guitarist and singer kept swapping as well, didn't they? I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
I was like, I came down and I was like,
unexpected.
just different
Don't
guys
often
singing.
see that at all.
Like, it was crazy. I was like, all right.
Oh, do you know what? And the vocals work so well together because it was that kind of, I think we spoke to them about it, that really sort of architecty kind of, quite a clean scream, actually. It was really well polished scream. And then the vocals were so like tight knit with that. They seemed to just, almost harmonize really well there.
it was crisp.
But enough about White Noise. They've had their time in the spotlight.
Yeah, we've already done them on the interviews.
Let's move on to Entity, man. So where did the name Entity come from?
I can tell you about that one. So we originally started just as a studio project, both Nate and I. Obviously, Nate's not here right now, so I will comment on his behalf as well. But yeah, we were actually under the guise of 8 years later, because we'd originally been working together, interestingly enough, for 8 years, and we'd done some little bits here and there, but it was sort of predominantly grime and hip hop based. And every now and again he'd be like, do you want to sing this hook? Can you come up with something for me? And then he said, I want to do something really heavy. I want to do some sort of metal and rap. And I said, look, that's as far as my producer capabilities go. I'm really sorry. Unfortunately, I won't be able to do it. Fast forward probably about 6 months, and he'd spoken to his tattoo artist, who then put him in touch with who is now one of our photographers, who was dabbling in sound engineering for a while. And then we got passed on to Mikey G, who became our producer. And then we got passed on to Merrick De La Fuente as an engineer / producer as well. But we were sitting there in the studio one time, and they're going, you know what, I'm really not sure about this 8 years later thing. Like, you know, it was just the way that everything was styled. It just didn't quite look right. And he said, what you kind of need is you need something like an acronym or something really short so that it's nice and easily, you know, manipulated in graphics. And he said, you know, you just need to kind of be one singular thing, you know. And he said, you almost got to be like an entity. And I said, hold up, can you say that again? And he said, right, as an entity. And I was like, well, why don't we do entity? Or why don't we just do NTT? I was like, nice and simple. And then, yeah, we just sort of started running with it from there. But as you could very well imagine, we get no end of, are you guys NTT or entity? Yeah. It doesn't bother us at all, because it just opens up that conversation, and we don't mind that at all. You know, so that's literally where that started. Yeah, just you say it once more with feeling.
Yeah, precisely, man. Yeah, no, that's absolutely awesome. And so, I one thing I'll say about your band that I think works really well, obviously, with regards to the naming and everything, all the graphics, the styling, everything looks exactly how it sounds in a really positive way. So you've got that, you know, something that I guess a lot of maybe people who haven't tried to start a band or haven't written music or tried to produce something similar won't have thought about is, you know, if the name doesn't sound anything like what the band actually sound like when they play music, it can be a bit confusing. I think you guys have nailed that one on the head.
Thank you. We just felt that it was, you know, we're conduits at this point. We wanted to be pass-throughs. We want that, that moment where everyone can just listen to our music and feel included and become part of the larger entity at large. So
Nice one, man. Callum, I'll pass back to you, sir.
Yeah, just we should carry on with the entity thing. It hearing your story with how many people are involved, you never know with bands how much stuff goes on behind the scenes, and with like everyone working on things like photography, videography, your graphic designers doing that, and it does all come together as like a big for this one singular project. It is like just an entity, isn't it? So it is a
absolutely, yeah. Like I say, big up to everybody behind the scenes. That's Jake 10, Mikey G, Merrick De La Fuente. We've been in talks with Steve Kerr recently. We've got some sort of heavy hitters in the tech metal scene that have just sort of seen us and have gone, we want to help this project, and it has certainly grown, that's for sure. To see sort of when you look at your streams and you go, wow, like 3,000 people, or at least it has been played 3,000 times.
Yeah, man.
And that's crazy. For us, we just
Pretty
never
surreal.
thought that would happen.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. Well, it sounds like it's going well for you guys. So, I don't know if you mentioned just now, but how sort of long have you been in this sort of final form? So, obviously, currently you're 3 members. I guess you're short a drummer, is it right at the moment?
Yeah, we had some internal issues there, and he decided to call it a day. We do wish him the best as well, because and so we're currently at a phase where we're running a lot of the stuff through backing track, which as a musician it can be hard, because that's one extra dynamic. When you see a drummer on stage moving around, that is dynamic. That's one extra person for people to look at. Be honest, we're not the prettiest bunch of boys up front, but with that being said, like you say, it just adds a bit of movement on stage, and to have to rely on good old Gustav, the Get Good drummer, it only will get you so far. So we are on the look at building our team back up.
For sure, man. And have you got anyone in the pipeline, or are you still looking? We can sort of shout some people out.
We've got a couple of people in mind, that's for sure.
Good.
So yeah, we're sort of having a reshuffle and a reschedule over the Christmas period, just so that we can hit that new year. Like our first show, I believe, is the 10th of January. So it's sort of really not a lot of time to get the band up and running, but obviously we're doing a lot of stuff in the background anyway.
Yeah, man. Be a busy Christmas for you guys then.
Yeah.
Nice. It always is the struggle for every band is finding a drummer, isn't it? It's
yeah,
a lot of the time, a nice drummer who likes to stay and isn't already committed to like 3 other bands is so hard to come by at the moment. Who isn't a session drummer?
Bandmate of mine, yeah. That's not on the drummer part, but as how I was introduced to the band myself was as a session bassist, because I was part of another band, not quite ready to commit to 2 projects, and then met these guys via TikTok and did like a random playthrough of a part of the song, and then it was like, you could be our bassist, do you want to come down for a rehearsal? Smash that out in a week.
Nice.
And then it was about a week later playing on stage.
It all happened very quickly within a space of a few days, and that was
cool, though.
yeah. Honestly, it's proof that the algorithm works. That for the amount of people that say that no one's seeing my stuff. All it evidently takes is one person, and he vibed with it so much that he went, I'm going to do a cover off my own back, tag this in it, and we looked and went, this could be someone that we're missing, and evidently it was. And he's been a good boy, and he's been promoted to 2 extra strings of a 6-string guitar now. I'm very proud.
That's big news. That
that's it. He gets to wear his big boy pants now.
We've been having thoughts about talking to Callum about maybe adding another string at some point, but I don't know how he's going to take it.
There's many things I need before I need an extra string. I think.
A head, a cab.
Yeah.
I was wondering what kind of string, like, were we talking G or
a lower one. A big chunky
the one
boy
that
as well. I'm
goes
talking about.
badang. Yeah, I know that one.
But he also would look good in a G string for sure.
Bang.
Oh,
I have been eyeing up a compressor pedal I need, and they're very expensive.
Are they? Oh,
Yeah,
man.
they're about like 200 and something quid for like a.
Really?
Yeah.
We could run it through the rack.
What?
We could run it through the rack.
Depends when I think I need it before all my effects, though, is the thing.
Shit.
So I rewind it back about 500 years and said, we could put it through the rack. That doesn't sound like a good thing, does it?
it's like,
I tell you
"Ah!"
what, a bunch of us went to Prague recently, and we did the whole Madame Tussauds thing, and there's like a torture dungeon version of it as well. And we thought it was all going to be wax models and stuff, and it wasn't. It was genuine torture devices, and it's pretty wild down there.
Yeah, I was about to say that's usually reserved for a certain corner of the world. That's for sure.
They're creatively fucked up, man. They were up to some shit in Prague. I recommend that. If anyone's ever in Prague and they're feeling a bit weird, the Prague Torture Museum is pretty. It'll show you a thing or two about yourself.
I know for a fact now someone's going to come along and they're going to go there and they're going to go, Regional 1 told me this was going to be really weird, so I'm going to be out.
Pretty weird. Pretty good. You'll
That's
be
the
surprised how
algorithm
many you're
thinking of them,
curious to try out, that's all. Back to Callum.
I can't think. You put me in this corner now.
Derailed you, mate.
Absolutely derailed me. There's just disregard everything Simon said for the past 5 minutes, and then we'll.
Yeah, but how can we? Simon says.
Oh yeah.
Can't
Right.
not.
That is a power I've had my whole life.
I can imagine you. Like, I don't know how you made frontman energy. Not at all. Because Simon says.
I was basically enabled my whole life just for having this name. It was destined to be.
I'll be honest, I'm sure it got boring very quickly.
Oh, fucking immediately, yeah.
Mhm.
Like, year
I do
3
apologise.
was enough.
I couldn't not. I'm sorry.
You know what? I feel like biology was like, yeah, you should get glasses now just so they can bully about something different. Man, I love Simon Says though. As an adult, it's not as bad. You can actually do things with it.
No, the good thing is it teaches consent.
Sort of. The
And
opposite.
we all know how important that is. We all know. Come on.
Truthfully,
It's taking a turn, man.
Simon knows.
Certainly find out real quick.
He went
so-
to the Torture Museum. He knows all about consent.
Yeah, I've seen some things. They up, mate. Everything in the Torture Museum sexual. They got problems.
Was it?
What?
Or was
Yeah.
it just a normal torture museum, and it's just you looking at it and being like,
And it was
Simon, can you give me that address real quick?
Yes. Absolutely. No, it was good though. Recommend that. So back to Entity.
back to Entity.
That's my segue. That's good. Yeah. So
Great.
you guys obviously you take some kind of. I guess we'd see them as maybe obvious influences as fellow musicians, but for the people watching, could you name like I don't know top 3 bands each or something that influence your writing when it comes to Entity?
You first, James.
Oh, gold. I'd say you first because you've written most of these songs with Nate. So
Fine. No, I just like to throw people under the bus, evidently, from time to time. It works, doesn't it, Simon? It's nice.
Yeah, give them the old switcheroo, you know.
Yeah, so what about you, James? But yeah, no. So yes, if you've not heard Entity, we are. We have been told that we're a British Linkin Park, which is a very big honour, as you can imagine, growing up and listening to Chester's voice and thinking that would be really cool. That would be really cool, and having someone there who's got your back and, you know, is able to nail those points home. And I think that despite my big voice, Nate backs me up a lot with his articulate rapping. It's incredibly crazy. Like I say, I've worked with him since he was 16, and to hear his progression, to come up, to just come from a guy that turned up to my house one time. He's shy and retiring guy, didn't really talk much, and then we put him in front of a mic and magic would come. So yeah, that sort of really helped influence that. Like 3 years ago was never doing anything like this at all. So yeah, to have sort of comparisons to Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, Hollywood Undead, though those are sort of quite pivotal in our development, that's for sure. But there's, you know, not to be confused with other elements from elsewhere, and some like external influences for Mikey and Merrick, the producer and engineer, respectively, and obviously now with new members. And I say new members is just newest member as James. So you know he's starting to add some of his own sizzle and flavour to it as well. But I know that he has an eclectic taste of music just like I do. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
And speaking of adding your own sizzle, what is your own sizzle?
For me, like when I write music anyway, like my go-to kind of sound is more like of a melodic hardcore and like ambient sort of sense of style. But so bands like Acres, Casey, if you know of them, they're fantastic bands. Just a really broad, diverse sound with lots of different kind of styles. And then I suppose my biggest influence, which might tie in a little bit more with this going forward, I'd probably say Sleep Token.
Yeah, man,
Just
nice.
how diverse their sound is and the things that they do. I'd love to kind of implement like the heavier side of it, but like where we have sort of R&B rap elements as well. There's some of that in there, and I think it's kind of up in the air at the minute where we're going to go, but there's definitely some ideas brewing.
Sure, I can see that. So it sounds like you kind of where I guess you guys have got the sort of kind of Chester, Mike Shinoda kind of element going with the vocal side of it. Production very much in that sort of new metal area, but if you can sort of bring in that almost I guess presence, like the surrounding noise, right? Like a lot of the effect. I don't know how to say it without it being
Cinematic almost.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, lots of the verby effects and stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
Nice, man. Yeah, that sounds really cool, man. So you guys, not to give too much away if you don't want to, but are you working on some new material at the moment?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So it seems we started the project really strong anyway, both Nate and I. We were really ambitious, and we essentially written an album without a band, and we started as a two-piece because we'd originally actually sort of envisioned it as, you know, a show. It would have been cool to have session musicians, but you know, everything was on backing track. It could be done. It really sort of helps show our chemistry and dynamic. But to start with, you know, Nate was quite shy. So to get him up on stage, like, you know, I mean, it's funny to even allude to the fact that Nate was shy, because, you know, as you guys have seen on stage, he is far from that. You know, very articulate, very eloquent guy that, you know, looks like he belongs on a stage now, and I absolutely adore that about him.
Yeah, man, for sure. And you guys had a really good natural chemistry too. I mean, you can sort of tell that you guys have known each other a while, especially the two of you. Yeah, there's a really nice sort of natural chemistry on stage, and yeah, you sort of already knew where each other were a lot, which I think is a skill in itself on stage, really, because I mean, early
Absolutely,
on,
yeah,
you're
that-
crashing
that-
into bloody everything, aren't you?
That's it. You're tripping over cables, all of that, all that sausage.
Cage.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had a lot of
No,
cymbals
fair,
toppling
very
over and
well.
shit in the past.
Yes, I was about to
Yeah,
say, yeah, we have known many a phenomenon, and yeah, just as it currently is in its configuration, ridiculously easy to set up. You know, we get told, oh, by the way, load-ins at 5:30, 6, and we're like, okay, we're bringing ourselves, and James is bringing his guitar and his pedal, and then that's us. We're loaded in.
Yeah.
It
so
it
nice.
does infinitely make it easier.
Sound
But-
engineer's wet dream, that.
Yeah, like you say,
Well, it
and,
takes
and
the
to,
stress
to
away,
be
doesn't
even able to say to them, however you want the backing tracks, we'll give them to you. If you want them all down one cable and all you've just got to do is turn up a fader, fine. If you want a bit of creative freedom, there's the drums, there's the bass, there's the backing, there's the guitar, crack on. And, you know, we like to, you know, sound guys have the amazing power or awful power, depending on which side of it that you're on, to press a magical mute button or to just turn up a frequency just too much. You know, they have far more power than people honestly understand, and I say this as a sound engineer myself. You know, it's be nice to your tech team, people.
Oh, yeah. They're as much part of the show as the band, to be honest.
Absolutely.
They can be
Yeah,
a bit
man.
moody at times, but by the clear and they're
Oh,
fine.
yeah. You got to think most of these guys, they're underpaid. They do like 12-hour days.
Yeah.
And just come off a
That's it.
festival.
Do you know the
they're flying all
crazy
gear.
thing?
Yeah.
Do you know the crazy thing of how to make most sound guys happy? Is to just
Beer.
talk to them like they're human beings, and beer. Exactly those two things. You know, we don't ask for much in the world, and that's a broad statement, and I mean that for everyone. Not everyone asks for the world. Be nice to everyone, people. Like we've only got one life. Let's share it with people that, you know, we're all gonna contribute towards a good life together, huh?
Yeah, man, for sure. Callum, back to you.
Me. We can go over your latest single, which I believe was Pictures, correct? And a really good video. So before we get into, I know it's all
Okay.
big, you know, thought-provoking song and everything, but where did you shoot the video? Because it looks amazing, and I don't know what it is.
All on you, that.
That is all on me. Yeah. So that is actually a decommissioned artillery battery tower in Grain. As far as legalities are, I don't know. We made it onto the structure. We filmed and we left without any hassle from anyone. However, experiences may vary. Yeah, there's some definite things there. I'd say if people do plan on going there, please be careful, because it, like I say, because it is decommissioned. At the time there was some bits of pathway missing, and you couldn't kind of look down and you see the sea, or you have staircases that start like this and then there's a break in the middle and the rest is like that. It was quite a terrifying thing. We had to obviously wait for low tide, and we walked everything out, drum kit included. It was a logistical nightmare in that respect, and you kind of think, if I've left anything at the car now, sod it can stay at the car. But yeah, it was an amazing experience. We managed to sort of get that all shot, fortunately, before the tide came back in again. So as soon as we hit terra firma, I think we were all sprawled on the floor laying starfish, like, oh my god, because it was just, obviously, as the tides go out, it gets nice and muddy around there. So I fortunately had the forethought to bring spare pairs of shoes. Nate, unfortunately, not so lucky, and he ended up messing up a nice pair of Jordans.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, guys, people who are watching, I've just pinned that one in the chat. So when you get some time, go check out that music video. It looks absolutely awesome.
Yeah, it is really
Sounds
good.
even better. So enjoy that.
Yeah, big up to ETB audio visual for that one. So they themselves are a band called Escape the Box, but they also do a lot of audio visual services themselves. And yeah, they shot that video. And interestingly enough, we had the visual effects done by a guy called James Sims, who recently, as an accolade, has just done the video effects for Kid Bookie's most recent single, AI. So big shout out to James Sims and both C Kizzy and Sam Gibbons. Much love.
Awesome stuff. Yeah, great. So I'm going to move us back into the live environment, if you don't mind, Callum.
Yeah.
Hope I'm not derailing you. But yeah, so obviously you guys have been doing a few shows with One Last Day, Hammer Down, all that kind of stuff. You've been sort of, I guess, on a bit of a tour, would you say?
It's hard to say. Like this week we've been busy. We've had 3 shows, and then it was probably about 3-4 weeks ago that we had the Berkshire show with One Last Day as well. So yeah, we at the moment we haven't sort of been calling it a tour as such, because it was a pocket of dates. But I suppose this last 2 was sort of our involvement on One Last Day's tour. So there's a lot of opportunity next year. We've been, like I say, speaking to the team at Hammer Down, and obviously speaking to a lot of bands that sort of all feel the same way, that it would just be fun if we can all just go and do some stuff. And yeah, we're looking at potentially middle of the year, towards the end of the year, potentially doing some tour stuff ourselves. So that's
Very nice.
So keep your fingers, toes, and titties crossed for that one, for sure.
Certainly shall. I'll try. Hold on. No, that'll hurt.
It's not so difficult for me, man.
I need apparatus to do that. It's yeah.
Exactly, apparatus.
Some of the
and
stuff I found in that
equipment
Prague
and stuff.
dungeon will probably do it.
The
I
teeth
was about to say,
twisters.
that's why I need the address. Yeah,
Honestly, there's flashbacks. Anyway, what I did want to ask is, have you had any kind of highlights, any shows you've particularly enjoyed, any crowds, any moments? Doesn't have to be on stage, could be off stage, could be places you visited. Tell us a bit about where you've been.
Do you know, a moment from last night for me, I think it's probably the first time I've had it, is like when all the people put their phones up in the air and you get the torches.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not sure what song it was. It was just a moment I looked up and I was like, God damn, this is actually like what we're doing.
It's genuinely overwhelming, that, isn't it?
It
I've
really
never
is.
experienced it before. It was just
Yeah, no, it is. It's such a special feeling. It was sort of one of those. To be fair, that I think I might have started that because I did put my phone torch on and then I pointed it at people, so I kind of assumed that that might be what I wanted, and it was. So they, big up crowds, and this is it. When crowds listen, that is so magical. When you can ask them how they are, and people say, yeah, like that's a good start. There can be nothing worse than a crowd that's so disengaged that you kind of think, eesh, like, oh, should we have been on this bill? Like, I'm sure every band feels that at some point. You kind of look and go, why are we with these people? When it's a completely different genre. But obviously, metal can get that rap because there are so many facets. It can be, can't necessarily strictly have a new metal show, strictly have this, so I feel like sometimes it's nice to have the variety, to have sort of something melodic, something text, to have all of those subgenres all amalgamating, but it doesn't always work out that way, unfortunately.
For sure. It's always worth trying out there. You need to find out, I think, something else, I can't remember who I was listening to earlier, but talking about like when you're out of your comfort zone with the crowd, it's obviously some of the best learning you can do anyway.
Absolutely, like I say, any time that something in inverted commas bad happens, there's always room for learning, and if you don't learn, then unfortunately that's on you.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Don't laugh, you. But yeah, so I've had so many moments like that. I even have some that obviously go back to our first official show as a band with players as well, because I remember standing there going, right, this is the lyrics for Faded Visions, and I want you guys to sing them back. And by God, they did. It absolutely blew my mind. Like, it was my first ever sort of show with a band, and to have people just screaming it back, and you know, you could see that they felt it. I definitely feel that tapping into the new metal-esque has sparked a lot of what I like to call nostalgia.
Yes.
Because it certainly does, because everyone has an experience with that. You know, it's what unfortunately some people like to say, like the not real metal, that, you know, it by definition is like no in German. So it's to have to come up against some seasoned metalheads, and then they look at you and go, you know what? I don't normally like rapping in metal, but that was really good.
That's the one.
You know,
I can imagine that.
Yeah, or meeting people, you know, from random places. Like, we had a show in Manchester, and the guy come up to us who went, "I swear to God to you guys, I found you when I was playing Candy Crush." And I said, "Pardon?" He said, "Yeah, so the obviously your targeted ads must have been doing something." And I genuinely stopped and went, "But you were playing Candy Crush." You know, I'm sure Meta are making their pennies right now, going, "Zach from NTT said Candy Crush, amazing." But yeah, that, you know, just to have those little pockets of moments that we can all just take with us, and I could chew everyone's ear off, but obviously I know.
No, yeah, for sure. And back to the sort of the crowd moments. It's something we've talked about a bit recently in the band, just in the tour van and whatnot. But I think it's important to remind anyone watching now and anyone who comes to our shows, you are performing too. If I came up to them in the street and I was like, "How are you doing today?" and they just screamed and clapped, that'd be very strange. So only in a venue where we're doing a show can you do that. So you're performing
Yeah,
too. So the more you join in, the more fun you're gonna have, dude. That's just a fact.
literally that.
Callum,
And moshing.
I'll send it your way. Oh, quick one from
And
Marie. She said White Noise will be on Let's Talk Music this week for a chat. So back to the White Noise conversation earlier. Anyone interested, go check out Let's Talk Music. I think there'll be a video out on YouTube shortly there.
Mash him.
Back to you, Callum.
She steals all our guests.
Yeah.
So, all right, I was about to say, I feel it coming. I'm not gonna lie.
Got to be done, man. It's good.
Absolutely, like I say, it's all shared, it's all love.
Yeah.
Exactly. We'll go with. Oh, Simon's gone. Where's he gone? I'll never know. What's some? We'll go with the. You know, talk about the nostalgia thing and people not. You know, some people who aren't normally quite into it getting into it. Do you have any like guilty pleasures musically? Before we do anything too dirty, but is there any guilty pleasures you listen to?
I am all over 80s music, man. That is like my vibe. Like, oh, I can't even think of a good example,
Yeah.
to be honest.
No, I can hands down say that a guilty pleasure of mine has and always will be Britney, bitch. All
Yeah.
day long. You know,
Awesome.
that was a weird musical journey of mine, but for sure. It's all right. I didn't do a
Obviously, like-
Britney Spears tribute act or nothing. Just to sort of quell the chat's understanding. You know, I haven't done it, not yet. Anyway, you know, let's see where Entity goes.
I guess for me, it's like I said with the 80s thing. As my day job, I'm a stagehand for like my local area. We go over and do load-ins and load-outs for big bands, and I've recently worked for a band called Mike and the Mechanics. And if you know the old tunes, like
Oh,
that's me all over.
that
You
brought
you
me
know
an
because you were the one that brought it
unnecessary,
up to me. Like
overwhelming sense of. I went, no
this.
way you've got the mechanics, and he went, yeah. I was like, yeah. He went, do you know who they are? I went, do I know who they are?
Gratification right there. Is that a dog?
Doggo!
It's dog.
It's like pixelated dog.
I'm
Thumbs
getting
up in
stared
the
out by
chat
this
for
guy right now.
Doggo. Thumbs up in the chat for Doggo right now.
He's probably just staring me down right now.
Yes,
Oh,
because he's
Shanice
waiting for
said
you to
things
say,
she would
Simon
do,
says, get off the sofa.
Vanished.
I
Oh
think
my
Shanice
God.
wants to see you with Brittany, mate.
Oh, I've missed something here.
You
Yeah,
did.
you did.
And I will say it again for the chat that
Okay.
a guilty pleasure of mine is Britney goddamn Spears, okay?
Right.
You happy with that, Jim?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, there you go. I thought you
What
might.
part of her specifically?
Oh,
Oh, don't get me started. No, she, like I say, I love the productions that her team had, and then you sort of see the shows that she did, and you just kind of think that over the past few years that she's had a lot of a bum deal recently. So you know, she had it most of her performing career, probably if not before that. So you know, I'm not going to sit here and cry and scream, leave Britney alone, because that's already been done. And that is a meme somewhere. I know there is one.
I did.
But
I kept getting suggested this reel of Britney Spears recently on my, I think it was Instagram feed, and it's her talking about lip syncing. But the way she does it is so funny. She lip syncs badly to a speech she's already made about not lip syncing. So if you catch that, you'll enjoy it thoroughly.
amazing.
It's very good. What does Tesco think it's a face?
No, that was sponsored by.
Yeah.
bag.
It's called
So
spatial recognition.
they get
software
enough
is
advertising.
rigged.
Yeah, hide that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Surprised
little
this
product
hasn't popped
placement.
out and greyed out. Yeah.
Do we have any talking about Britney? No, I haven't got a segue for that. I wish the Britney segues hard to pull off.
That would have been amazing, Callum. I'd give you that.
Talking about Britney, do we have any complex
do we have
financial
any-
situations? Well, yeah, we're musicians anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah. We all know.
Do you like dancing with sharp objects? I think that's my favorite. Have you seen the video of her dancing with knives?
Yeah. Is that the one with
What?
the dog?
Yeah, there's like a dog behind her.
Yeah.
She's just got like two knives. She's like, yeah. And now it's a
Oh, is that a fairly recent one?
yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Yeah, I think I know the one that you're talking about. Yeah.
and they put it in.
It's all right. I haven't got the video saved or anything.
They put it in Fortnite. I mean, of course they did. They put everything in Fortnite, but like they put it in there quick. Like, it's crazy how quick their turnaround
Rule
is.
35.
Yeah.
To be
If it
fair,
exists,
you know,
it's in Fortnite.
yeah, the reaction from those sort of communities is phenomenal. I mean, you know, there's a lot of comedy based elements there, and you know, South Park and people like that have been doing it for years.
Man, South Park are on it lately, man. They are savage.
know,
I've
and
never
the
really
fact
been
that
into
they
it.
are
but they're
still
good.
going so strong and are like relatively unopposed is
I think the only ones
testament
getting
to
I
the
away
feel
with it.
that they went too soft though at the end. They kind of hyped it all up and then they like forgave everything that they'd done. And it lost a little bit of their backbone, but it was still quality entertainment.
Which one was that? Sorry.
The Pandaverse special.
Oh yeah, yeah, man. That's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Savage moments.
They got a new game coming out. I've seen as well. And Callum, I've sent you a link, but it's
apparently it's
4-player.
like 3D now.
Yes, it's 4-player, and there's 4 members in the band. Callum.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, but there's We've got Lethal Company. We need to do Lethal Company.
We need to release the playthroughs we've already done as well.
No, let's just generate so much
Just for
content, just
us.
have a massive
Yeah.
backlog, and get overwhelmed and not do anything.
Yeah.
Let's just do that.
Let's leave it to sit on a hard drive selfishly. Yeah.
I'm
And
glad we got.
I think most creatives know that problem. Like
God,
our
yeah.
whole lives. You just, you always sit there and think, oh, is it really good enough? And then you just take that leap sometimes, and then you just get this reaction that you wouldn't have got if you hadn't released it. And then you go, we should do that more.
Yeah.
And then the cycle continues.
Oh my god. Do you know what? When in the future we have an AI version of Peter Jackson release an AI version of a song we haven't written with a music video that was never made, we'll actually have enough footage to put in it. It'd be really good.
Source material.
That was a bit specific, I feel, actually.
Really nailing down those specifics.
Humor's always best when it's general and everyone can relate to it. That's why I'm not funny.
That's because you're like, I know who that is.
Damn.
Well, the people who are watching who don't actually, they're not in the cool crew, so.
Yeah. That's it. Well, at the end of the day, they didn't know the password to this pillow fort, so no. I love you guys. I love you guys.
Dude.
That's just talking our rubbish.
Yeah, you got to get it out every now and then, though.
I was about to say, tangents galore. You will find that here. Always tangents, always entity.
We've got more segments than a Valentine, mate.
Ah.
Man, I'll tell you what, we've been doing these live streams a little while, and they always get a bit derailed at some point where I think we just have a biological need to shit words out at some point. It's like an hour long, you're like, here they come. You can feel them.
You can only be professional for so long when you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then
That's it. Like, look, we're all just as depraved in some way or another, and we get our kicks how we need to, and sometimes we deal with things with comedy. Okay, Dad.
word vomit is my favorite. Right, Callum, back to you.
Back to me.
Callum, it's right back at
I've
you.
run out of thoughts.
We went
Callum,
we went off on a tangent, and we went off a tangent off that tangent.
Sub-tangent.
It's too deep.
Are you going to Arc Tangent this year?
I feel like we should.
I want to go.
Yeah.
I really want to go.
Sugar's playing in
Where is it?
Bristol.
Where do they host it?
Bristol, yeah. What is it? Arc Tangent. Who's playing?
With
Callum,
Sugar.
you'll know.
With Sugar.
Sugar are playing.
Animals as leaders. Pliny.
Yes. Pliny.
Who else was it?
Three Trapped Tigers. And so I
let's
watched
have a look.
you from afar. Red Fang.
Red Fang.
Red Fang.
A Conjurer player. They normally play. They play every bloody year.
I don't know. I can't read.
No.
There it goes. Oh, they're not so bad. It's not like trying to read the Bloodstock poster. That's a fucking joke.
You're just weak.
Oh,
You're just weak.
I know. I don't read
No.
tree roots, bro. I can't read them.
Oh, Bosk. Oh my god, Bosk are playing as well. Night versus Conan.
So, general consensus among people I've been speaking about is that the major festivals suck shit this year. So, we're going to spend the amount of money that we would have spent on going to a major festival on about probably 10 minor festivals. And it
Sounds like a good plan.
it's actually a much better deal, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it means
The
that
more
you
I think
get
about
to-
it.
Yeah, it means that it's sort
Where
of.
are you? Where are you sitting on the whole download debate this year?
Oh,
Next year?
I don't think
Not
unless
going.
He had
they
to do
really
that.
do
He
something.
had to open up that can of worms.
Yeah, we shit on download a lot at the moment. We don't mean to because I love download, right?
We have shit
Yeah,
on it
man.
every single stream
Since
the
since the announcement, yeah. What have they booked? What the fuck are they doing?
and after Metallica as
I don't know.
well. The second you got
Oh,
back from
I
download, you were
I
shitting
didn't
so
shit
on
on
I got
Download.
to-
Download was amazing last year, but Metallica were not amazing. They
No.
were a bit of a letdown, I would say.
There were so many problems with that production because of the towers. Like the sound was just going off in so many different directions.
Also,
It was-
they just didn't seem to want to be there, in my opinion. They
Yeah,
came up,
there is that.
they were just miserable old fucks, and they need to move on. That's my hot take.
That is the hot take.
Have you seen they did a live video of one, and when it gets to the double kick pedal section,
I've seen that.
I remember watching it live, and he absolutely annihilated his drum kit and did not hit the drums. But in the video, they've like post-edited it, and it's
it's all
near
post.
perfect.
Yeah. Lars,
man.
I think the reason I hated it so much, so I'm a drummer as well outside of singing, and my God, Lars Ulrich, how the hell has he been behind the kit that long and he's still that bad?
I don't know, but if Slipknot take him on, I'll be there for it.
Oh my God. Could you imagine? We've decided not to hire a drummer as the drummer this time round.
Yeah, they're going to do an entity and use them. Get good drums.
It feels like low-hanging fruit, but honestly, the drum sound was bad as it was, I think, for Metallica. But the fact that Lars Ulrich was doing all these faces and really trying to show off, but he was playing so badly out of time, it really got under my skin.
Yeah, man. The sound check sounded better than the live performance. That's
I really like the bit where they stopped playing, I think. Honestly, I think
But when they played again 2 days later.
Yeah, that's so ridiculous.
Yeah, and then he didn't like them again, and then it went back up again. Towards
They
the
should
end
have
of the
done
show.
Bring Me the Horizon twice. Honestly, I was not a fan of Bring Me the Horizon until Download this year when they really fucking brought the thunder, dude. They were as a live act with a production, with a theme, a concept, everything just came together for that band.
Was insane as well, like the multiple layered production.
Yeah, what a beautiful stage design. That was stunning. That.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck Metallica anyway. So.
And screw down.
No, on a serious note,
yeah, that's it. I can imagine Lars is like sitting in that chat room now, like tears streaming down his face, like "Fuck you guys."
No, he's going to sue us in a minute for talking
I think
shit.
he understands criticism. Come on.
Report it as spam or something.
It is at this point.
Yeah.
It is just harassment at this point. I think we shit on him every single week.
Lars alone.
Oh come on, we're not the only ones. I've
I know.
just joined that train. I've only just joined the train of shitting on Lars Ulrich. I thought it was alright on Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Oh, Shanice says, "Love how getting back on track just turned into another tangent." Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Doomed. Good evening, Aaron. Yeah, man, we can't help it. I don't know. Yeah. Marie has come out with the truth. She says, "Don't get them started on Download. We'll be here all day."
Yeah.
Sorry.
What's wrong with that? He's just busy.
We didn't know what we were doing.
I was trying to make a really wholesome point out of it, actually. I was going to say, guys, go support smaller local festivals. Because Download clearly have lost the fucking plot. They're trying to charge you 330 quid for bands you don't want to see. Go see bands that you don't even know for cheaper and have a better time.
I was about to say that, the shows that we've been a part of, just to sort of see the ticket prices, and it's like, come on guys, you get to see 4 fantastic bands that are out grafting on their own, and you get to see all 4 for a £5. You get to see all 4 for a £10. Yeah, even those maths are so.
And the merch is cheap.
Yeah.
I'm about to say, I'll be honest, I've been to a couple of shows recently, and you always know that merch is going to be more expensive on those larger venues, obviously back with the, debacle of them taking additional money from that as well.
Third of the money, yeah.
And some as much as 40%, and you're like, yeah, I can see why the prices had to go up to cover some overheads, but then even still, like when you're looking at paying £75 to £100 for a hoodie, you kind of have to think, where is the line? Like, it is so hard. Like, we'll sit there and go, yeah, we need to get, we want a front logo, we want a back logo, we want sides, and then you look at it and go, but if I spend that much on it, the rate of return, as a businessman, you look at it that way and go, the rate of return, you kind of think, is it worth it?
Impossible, isn't it?
Whereas, you could get some things that are far more gratifying, like stickers, and just get yourself slapped about places, within reason, of course, and as long as it's consensual. But Yeah, like just you kind of have to weigh up your costs there. You know, the largest part that a lot of people have to say is that you do it because you love it. You know, sometimes you run into a loss at shows, and that's okay because the amount of people that you'll connect with that you wouldn't normally connect with sometimes can far outweigh that. Like you can get friends for life because of it. And
100%.
that's what I've definitely noticed. Obviously, only just sort of coming into the metal music scene in the past 3 years officially. It's just so nice to see how welcoming like most people are. Obviously, you know, there are some, and I'm not here to name names because it's not my show.
Yeah, there's always one or two, you know. Oh, I say that, not lately, but I think since the lockdowns, people have been a lot more hungry and welcome. I think people realised what they were missing when they were forced to stay in their houses. Really, I think it's much more appreciated. And then, I don't know, man. I've watched Clarkson's Farm a few times now, and I hope the same thing for the music industry. There's a part in there where he's talking to like a conglomerate of all the different farmers in the area. In the Cotswolds, which obviously very famous for farming in the UK, very prevalent area, they're all struggling. And he's like, there'd be no other industry where you'd be expected to pay or be paid fuck all to produce your wares. And I was like, music.
Music.
Yeah. There's so similar, but you know, man, and obviously they diversify in their own way. If you have seen it, then you'll know what I mean. But yeah, I'm kind of hoping we start seeing that with the more local part of music, the local scene, the unsigned scene, the grassroots.
Like scene. That's it, and seeing that, and to be there at the ground floor, you know, to be like, I knew those guys when they played to 10 people in, you know, and not even in a demeaning sense, to just be like, wow, look at where they've come. You know, that's amazing. I'm absolutely in awe of that, to see when you look at development, not only of, you know, themselves, but the show, the venue. You know, you just get to watch those stages as they grow, and you go, yeah, fair play. Like, you have earned it. Like, you take the time out, you put the sacrifice in, and then it bears the fruit.
For sure. And it sort of, you know, comes out in a grassroots where you build up naturally. Then I don't know about you guys, we've got plans for next year in terms of how we're going to improve our stage show. We feel like we've got quite a tight thing going with the music now. The audio production's good. Now we're thinking, right, maybe a lighting rig would be cool. Maybe we can just add a bit more flair to the show that just adds a little bit more value to people watching, you know.
Of course, like, because that's it at the end of the day. That they're the people that are coming through the door to see you. Give them something to see. You know, I'm not going to sit here and go, you know, any show that's not on rails is bad. Like, there are some amazing shows that, you know, even us as guys that have got sample backing tracks, you know, there's some moments where you kind of have to forget the script and just send it, and you know, you get some absolutely magical moments out of that. You know, just because people aren't on click tracks or are on click tracks, I don't think that should deter you from, you know, your ability to put on a good show. You know, I've heard some fantastic drummers and they don't use a click, and you think, could that be better or worse if they decided now to go onto a click? So, you know,
it was about how long I was playing bass without a guitarist for when Mario was away. But it still worked and people really enjoyed it. So
Roger. And it's about your presentation at the end of the day as well, you know, like again, the reason we want to look at lights and stuff, so we get a lot of consistent fans that we've started building up in the south and southwest especially. Now we want to reward them for coming. We could probably quite comfortably play our set that we've been doing over the last few months. We could do that for the next year and still be playing to new people every time. But what about the people who are coming to every show, right? We got to give them something a little extra. We're going to test out new songs when we know they're going to be there. We're not going to test it on a crowd we don't know. We want to do it with the people who we know are invested in what we're doing. And hopefully it's a reward for them as well, because they're like the first to hear it then. And I think there's something special about that.
Agreed. Yeah, I can't agree more. Like I say, it just gives those people that have being that sort of supporter who might not have even been there long, but has been so intense.
Yeah.
You know, absolutely have time of day for my day ones. I've got time of day for people that literally met me last night. You just, like I say, when you approach it in that way, you just feel a lot warmer.
Yeah.
And like you say, you
Absolutely.
can, and it just feels so much more rewarding for them as well as you. You know, you get that warm fuzzy, but you know they get that back tenfold sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to go through a few, read out a few festivals that have been commented in the chat. So we'll start back up with Shanice. She says, get your tickets for Uncensored Festival. £12 for like 9 bands. Ridiculously cheap, by the way, guys. That is insane. Rock Beats Cancer 2024 is going ahead. That's Marie's festival down in Bournemouth. Keep an eye out for that. We've got Takedown Festival, Hammerdown Festival, and Halloween Returns. I've not seen that one.
Yes.
Very great one.
And James has just commented those through. And Marie seconds Hammerdown also. So there's already a bunch of festivals that you can check out. If you don't want to support the huge corporate machine, there's another option there. But yeah, if you like that lineup at download.
Your dog needs a festival spinning around like that.
He's
He's having a great time. He's
Yeah,
a
so
self-moshing dog.
Yeah, man.
Oh, he knows he's been caught. What are you doing back there, buddy?
so I won't do nothing.
Come on. Gonna come say
Notice
hello?
me, senpai.
Oh, what you got?
We've
Give me
lost
this.
him.
Oh yes, Callum, do you want to go for a closer? We're at 9:10. That's gone by quick.
We can do. So, talking about the live music and everything, we'll go with. Is there any experience, either like seeing a live performance or listening to a band or something, which made you think like, I want to do that? Is there any like big influence in that way? Be like, I need to do. That's what I want to do.
That is a very good question. So, James, anything for you, bud?
Broad question. It's a really broad question.
It
Like,
is
I don't want
fantastically
to be
broad.
outspoken, but like when I saw them at Takedown Festival this year, the minute they stepped on stage, the whole room was electric. And the same goes for the band Loathe as well. Like the same night, like they own the crowd, and I want to be able to do things like that that could just get the whole crowd going, get them ready for the next band. Or if we're I can wish that we're the headline band, and like that entire packed out room would just be there for the sake of seeing us. That would just be awesome.
Yeah, I think for me, recently, of all people, I saw I got an invitation to go to a Youngblood concert, and I literally went, I'm gonna go. Why not? And I watched that show, and you see the age diversity in the crowd. That there's kids there, and there's a lot older people, and then you think, okay, they haven't got kids, they're here themselves. That's absolutely fine. But to see, I absolutely love the idea of having a large enough space that you can deal with set dropping in and dropping out. Again, like literally a few weeks ago, saw Fall Out Boy, and they did a very similar thing. And they were, dropping set in. There was one particular section where they basically brought the whole lighting rig down, so it was more than like, it was probably a couple of feet above their heads, and just that sort of gave the illusion that they were playing in a tiny little venue that they probably played in years ago, and and then it all opened out and it was a big giant production, and you kind of think, wow, there those moments where you just kind of, again, harking back to what I was saying earlier, that you big up the tech team. There is so much going on behind those scenes that, it's so easy to get lost and think, that was really cool looking. But then you think, God, that was a team of people that were just dealing with that one giant set object or that one particular prop. So I think for me, it's building that team around us that understand the vision of Entity and where that, where it needs to go collectively. You know, ooh,
Yeah.
collectively, NTT. Ooh.
Yeah, man. Awesome, man. I'll tell you what. I saw Linkin Park in 2014 at Download Festival, and that
Don't.
made
Is
me
that that's where they is that where they played the Hybrid
That's-
Theory?
yeah, front to
Hybrid
back.
Yeah,
Theory.
don't. That I was so gutted that I couldn't go because I was working that weekend,
Man,
and
I'll say no.
yeah, yeah, no, I could imagine
good.
that was that was something.
Mm.
Like
Um,
I missed them at the O2 as well, and I was just like, God damn it, it's all right. I'll go and see him another year. I said,
Oh shit, yeah.
you know, and it's so sobering, but I think it again nails that point home that be nice to each other. Actually, ask people questions how they are.
Yeah, sure, man.
Check on your
Absolutely.
mates.
Right.
Absolutely.
Always.
Gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you this evening, and even more of a pleasure, I must say, sharing the stage with you last week. That was a real fun show. And honestly, what we're saying about these local lineups, that was an insane lineup. That would absolutely be fit for a big stage, in my opinion. That show would have been just as fit at Download Festival as it was in Anvil, to be honest. It was a super tight lineup, and I hope we see more of that. So, yeah, thank you guys very much. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Where can people find you?
You can find us on our socials mainly by searching always_NTT. You'll find us on YouTube. You'll find us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. You know, all the big ones. We've even got a Bandcamp, so if anybody is interested in purchasing merchandise, but do give us a click and have a look and see what we've got. You might find something that you want. You might find something that someone else will want for Christmas.
Hey. And
That's it.
we know it's payday this week.
Yeah, no excuses. If you don't buy our merch, buy somebody else's merch, please.
Nice one. Cool. On our
Your
part,
local scene.
we've got our last show of the year coming up on the 15th of December, guys. So anyone local to the southwest,
Hey, us
Yeovil specifically, anyone in Somerset, come on down. It's going to be absolutely fucking mental. We're going to really party this one out. That is on the 15th of December. I will drop a ticket link into the chat now so you can
We
see
won't be
that.
there. Boo.
Big sad.
We won't be there. We'll be in Southend.
That Ben, you gigging as well? You got more shows this year?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
got
yeah.
one. We're playing with quite a
I'll
few
tell
bands
everyone.
and
Tell the
big
people.
up beneath the embers for that. Yeah, fact.
Where's that to? When, sorry?
That's our last show.
That one's in Southend, and I'll be honest, it evades me. Where so you got a show? Okay.
Nice, yeah.
No, that sounds horrible because that sounds like I really don't care, and I do care.
A lot of numbers and fucking dates
It's
and
been a busy-
names.
Yeah,
I get that.
absolute fact on that one. Yes, for sure. Like you go, yeah, was it there? We are playing the Alex in Southend.
All right. Lovely. And that's the 15th.
That's it. Yeah. So we'll be
Very nice.
sharing a stage with you, not physically, but metaphorically.
We'll be there
and
in
spiritually.
spirits.
Fact. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Speaking of spirits, that's it. Don't be any nice to your liver this Christmas, okay?
Nice one. Well, gents, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you, everyone, for
Much
watching.
love.
We will see you again. If you're not watching right now, then hello from the past, I guess. Yes,
Big
we'll
love,
see you
chat.
guys when we see you.
Yes. Catch you soon. Much
We told
love.
you-
Bye.
Bye bye.
Peace.